So I recently saw the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and honestly, going into it, I was very hesitant and skeptical because I saw all the reviews coming out about it online, and people were making this movie out to be like a straight up abomination to cinema, like it was horrible, and they were giving all this criticism, which made me really scared going into it. But after watching the movie, I gotta be honest, it was good. I really liked it, and thank God I did, because I was really worried that like I was gonna come out hating it and be like, damn, they were right. Though I do think that some of the criticism this movie is getting is valid, and I'll get into that later on, but before I do, I want to let you know right now that this is a spoiler review of the movie, as the title says. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to get spoiled, then I suggest you click off this video right now. You're still here? Alright, let's do this. So before I talk about the things that I didn't like, I want to talk about the things that I do like, and the first thing I want to get out of the way is the animation. I am a sucker for good animation, and this movie is filled to the brim with it. There was not a second in this movie where the animation looked lazy or where it looked like they were trying to cut corners. Every frame of this movie is just animated beautifully, and I also love the colors because my god, they look so fucking beautiful. The movie is just visually very pleasing, and I loved every second that I got to saw the absolutely gorgeous animation. And speaking of the animation, I loved how in certain segments of the movie the animation changes, like how it turns into more so of like a 64-bit animation, like how Mario looked back in like the 80s. That was really cool to see, but by far my favorite one was when they showed Fox McCloud's backstory and how that had like a very different sort of anime-esque art style. That was really cool. I really liked how they showed Fox's backstory. Speaking of another thing that I liked all the little Easter eggs and how a lot of things in the movie, like all the sound effects and the music, were straight up taken from the game. And easily my favorite nod or reference, quote unquote, to the game, because it's not even really a reference, it's more so like they just straight up took it from the game, was the music. Hearing the songs, or not so the songs themselves, but they were more so covers, but it sounded almost verbatim like it did from the Super Mario Galaxy games, was fucking amazing. And as someone who grew up playing the Super Mario Galaxy games and hearing that glorious soundtrack, it was such a blessing to my ears to hear that soundtrack in the theater. Another little thing that I really liked were all the cameos from all the various Nintendo characters. Obviously, we all knew Fox McCloud was going to be in the movie because they announced it for some reason. I don't even know why they did that. They should have just kept that a surprise. But anyways, I really like seeing all the other characters like Mr. Game & Watch, Pikmin, Whittle, and at the post-credits scene, we got to see Daisy. There were so many cameos throughout this movie. I'm honestly surprised that Link and Zelda didn't pull up, which I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of expecting them to, considering all the other shit we were getting and all the other fan service and cameos and things like that. I'm genuinely shocked we didn't at least get to see Link appear in the background or something. But all these cameos really have me thinking that we might be getting a Super Smash Bros. Film. Like, it's either that or a Super Mario Odyssey film and then a Super Smash Bros. Movie. Because with all the characters that we got to see on screen, we are definitely getting a Super Smash Bros. Film. I'm calling it right now. But one last little thing that I loved how they showed that Bowser has a really good relationship with his son. I just thought that was super fucking wholesome. But now moving on to the things that I didn't like, and easily by far the worst thing about this movie, and this is pretty much what everyone else is saying, the pacing. It is fucking Flash levels of speed. I kid you not, plot lines genuinely go by like this. It is crazy. I swear to god, if you like get up, go to the bathroom, and come back, you will damn near skip an entire plot line. Like, to give you an example, you meet Rosalina, and then like 5 to 10 minutes later, she gets captured by Bowser Jr. I kid you not, that is the time frame when it happens. In fact, there's literally a plot line in this movie where Mario and Luigi get turned into babies, and then like 10 minutes later, it immediately gets resolved, and they move on from it like nothing happened. In fact, I don't even think they mention it for the rest of the film. Like, things will happen, there will be a problem that gets presented, it immediately gets resolved like 5 to 10 minutes later, and then they quickly move on from it. Like, this film for me went by so fast that when the credits started rolling, I was like, wait, it's over? This film just started! The whole film just flew by for me, and it seems like it did for everyone else. And for me, usually that's a good thing. Like, if I'm really invested in a movie that's, say, like 2.5 hours long and it doesn't feel that long, I'd say that's a damn good movie. But for this film, considering that that it's only an hour and a half and plot lines go by so fast that not even the Flash could keep up with it, it's something I don't really like. And with how fast plot lines go by in this film, it kind of feels like there's no real stakes. Like, you can't it's kind of hard to get invested in this film because you know with every problem that they face, they're gonna find a solution to it really fast and then they're just gonna quickly move on from it. Which I guess, yeah, is obvious because this is a Super Mario film, so it's gonna have a happily ever after type ending, but I'd at least like it if there was some actual stakes. Like, if they didn't solve this problem, then like something serious was gonna happen, or at least something like that. They never face any real challenges. Any obstacle that gets in their way, they immediately hop right over it and move on. So it made it kind of hard to get invested and really care about what was going on. But the last thing that I didn't like was how underutilized Rosalina was. Like, holy shit, they did my girl so dirty in this film, especially considering how much she was hyped up. Like, they made her seem like she was gonna be some sort of badass, but she gets captured 10 minutes throughout this film, spends like the remaining 50 minutes to an hour like that, and then saves the day at the end. Like, she's not even a character in this film. She's pretty much just a plot device. She only exists to further the story. That is it. The only times you really see her are when she's advancing the story, or pretty much only existing as a plot device. Like all the other characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, you get to spend a lot of time with them throughout this film, but Rosalina, I kid you not, she probably has like 10 minutes of screen time, and I'm pretty sure that's been confirmed. It's just crazy how much they didn't use her. Like, I was really excited to see her, like, you know, do some cool shit like taking down robots or fighting against Bowser Jr., but she barely even does that. The one scene where she like breaks out of those cuffs, which first of all was really stupid, because if she could do that the whole time, why did she wait until she got captured or like taken to Bowser Jr.'s fucking lair when she literally just could have done that like on the robot? But anyway, I was just expecting her to be the badass that they were hyping her up to be, but instead we got just someone whose only sole purpose in the film is to further the story and to basically be a damsel in distress. Like, now that I'm talking and thinking about it, it reminds me of the dad or the fucking old guy from The Godfather. You guys all know who I'm talking about. I forget his name, but incoming spoilers for The Godfather, by the way. Just skip like 20 seconds ahead or skip to the timestamp that's on the screen. But Rosalina in this film reminds me of the old guy from The Godfather, because in that film I was expecting him to do some cool shit like Tony Soprano, but instead he gets shot like 40 minutes into the film, spends like 2.5 hours that way, and then dies. Like, what the fuck? God, I hate The Godfather. It's such a boring ass film. But anyway, I just really would have liked it if they used Rosalina a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. But overall, to wrap this review up, I give the Super Mario Galaxy movie a solid 6 or 7. Oh, god damn it. I promise that was not intentional. But anyway, I'd probably give this movie like a 6.5 to a 7. So I guess 7 if you round it up. So yeah, I give the Super Mario Galaxy movie a 6.5 out of 10. And that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you for watching. And yeah, peace.